MJD Beats.
Live on the National Sports Studios from Spreaker.com, you are listening to In the Paint with Jordan Hunter and your host, Cameron Sadeghi.
Welcome to In the Paint. I'm Cameron Sadeghi alongside Jordan Hunter and our guest Robert Dieters to talk all NBA and all basketball-related news. Guys, the big news, let's start with Shawn Marion going to the Cavs. How much better are the Cavs with the addition of Shawn Marion?
I guess I'll go because if Jordan's not going to talk, I think Shawn Marion is. I think he's going to bring a lot of presence to this team. Obviously, the Cavaliers are trying to make that push, and I think Shawn Marion getting him can really make an impact. He's going to be the backup for LeBron James, obviously, and I think that's actually a really solid backup because he did start for the Dallas Mavericks last year, and now going into, obviously when players have to transition to different roles, it can be difficult. It's kind of like saying Harrison Barnes going to the bench, Andre Iguodala having to start, but obviously Marion's been in the league a lot longer than Harrison Barnes has. So, but I want to see what the Cavs can do this year. I think this team is for real. I think this team can go to the NBA Finals.
Yeah, Marion, he's a solid veteran presence for guys like Waiters and Kyrie Irving and some of the young players on their team. He's not going to have a super big role on the team. He's going to come off the bench, maybe relieve LeBron or even Verjao, and then they can build a small ball lineup with Love at the 5 and Marion at the 4. He provides rebounding a lot, even though he's only like 6'8", which is very good. He's a very underrated rebounder. So all in all, I think the Cavs got a really good pickup with him. He's going to help him in the end. He may even get some crunch time fourth quarter minutes. So great move by the Cavs.
Yeah, I agree with all of you. I think it's a great move because then, LeBron doesn't have to guard the best guy in like key moments, and Shawn Marion can do that. I think Marion, provides versatility on both offense and defense, and he's improved his three-point shooting. So, Shawn Marion, I think it's a great move. I think he would have gotten more playing time and maybe padded his stats up a little bit if he went to Indiana. But going to Cleveland is the right place for a championship. It's going to make things even more interesting up there in Cleveland. I know we're going to talk about Team USA in a second, but I really want to talk about this. Sim Bhullar is going to the Sacramento Kings, the first Indian center going to Sacramento. How big of a deal is this for the Kings and for the NBA to have Sim Bhullar on an NBA roster?
I think this is like a hashtag. What?
Go ahead.
Oh, thank you. Okay, because I thought we're having this transition here. All right, but I think this is hashtag. This is not a big deal. You know why? Because, okay, congratulations, Sim Bhullar, an Indian player. I don't think this guy is really going to be playing for the Kings. I think he's going to be, a bench warmer, to be honest with you. I think this is making history, though, because obviously you bring Indians into this league, and obviously this is the first Indian we've had. And, I don't think it's going to make much of an impact for the Kings. I saw a big headline, congratulations, Kings, you made history, but you're still going to tank this year.
Yeah, it's a training camp invite. That's the big thing. I'm not taking a knock on, it's huge. He's the first Indian player, and we know how much Kings owner Vivek Ranajide, who's from India, wants to spread the NBA and the Kings globally, especially to his home country, India. So him doing this, it was huge, but it's a training camp invite. I think it was a signing partly just to see with DeMarcus Cousins' knee scare, just to make sure were shored up in the front court. So if he does get past training camp and makes it on the roster, I think he's going to be a bench player, like Robert said. But it's a big move for the Kings, always breaking barriers here and there. So kudos, Kings. Go Sacramento.
I think he I mean, I don't want to say he's going to have a giant impact, but he could have a slight impact on the Kings. And congratulations to Sim Bular and the Kings. I think it's tough for Sim just coming in the league, being the first Indian player. And I wish the best for him. I mean, being 7'5" helps a lot, and I hope the best for him. And Sacramento, I think they made a positive move. That's what I'm going to say. It was a positive move, considering what they made a lot of bad moves, and he's not a bad player at all. He's a pretty solid player.
Yeah, I just want to ask you this: he's 7'5", 355, 360. So he's a big man. Cameron, is the condition going to be a problem if he finds himself on an NBA team, or you think he's going to have to lose a couple pounds, or what do you think about his weight and his weight basically?
I think he should keep it because he should try to. If I'm Sim Bular, I try to make an identity. Like when Shaq came into the league, when Shaq was on the Lakers, even though conditioning was a problem, nobody could handle his mass. And if I'm Sim Bular, I try to make that as my blueprint. I'm going to use my mass and physically impose my will against opponents and completely take over and dominate games. And I think that's what the approach Sim Bular should take.
Yeah, he did that in college as he won the West Athletic Conference tournament most outstanding player, and he was the All WAC Freshman of the Year. So he had good numbers in college. Maybe those can translate to the NBA.
I'm hoping it makes an impact. I mean, obviously, 10 points a game, 7.2 rebounds, and 2.9 blocks. I mean, average throughout the whole year. I think that's pretty damn good for Sim Bular, and I think he'll come off the bench, and I think he'll make this team. He'll make the Kings roster, but he'll be like a kind of a bench warmer, maybe even a sixth man. You never know.
Or they could groom him in the D League. They have the Reno Bighorns. They can always throw him there and stash him for a couple months and wait to see if maybe the big man gets injured and then bring him up, because they still got guys like Carl Landry, Derek Williams, Jason Thompson ahead of them in the depth chart. So you never know.
But also what I'm going to point out here is he is bigger than Carl Landry, and I think this guy maybe makes. I mean, Carl Landry is a small guy. We can all admit that.
He's 6'9", but he I think Sim Bular relied a lot on his natural height and weight to play for round. That won't work in the NBA.
No, but to me, we say this so many times with international players, though. I feel like there's always a knock on international players. I think sometimes we're a little too critical. I mean, we were a little too critical when Dirk entered the league, and then he had a really bad stretch, and people were saying, this guy's going to be a bust, and look, Dirk is one of the best power forwards of all time. I mean, Sim Bular should be given an opportunity to thrive, and I think he will. I think he's very skilled. I mean, I don't know if he can be a superstar in this league, but I think he's a tradable piece, and I think he's a very valuable piece for any team. I really do believe this guy can have a big impact in this league.
But with such a such a limited summer league performance, you really think, and back to the international players, just because look in the past, it hasn't been very promising. There's been all these guys. It hasn't been too promising. There's been more busts than diamonds in the rough.
But
in this case.
But how do you do? Okay, first of all, how do you determine a bust? Because you can go out there and say, well, he was picked in the top 5 but became a really good role player, and people will say that's a bust. Just because Darko Milicic was bad doesn't mean we can put it out on the rest of the NBA universe. Just because Darko Milicic didn't perform well, that doesn't mean any international player cannot perform. That's basically what it's been.
True, Darko did have a really bad career, but some of these other guys. But Sim Bular, he wasn't good. Like, he's not from another country. He's from Canada, but he's not from a country overseas. So it's not like he's played against weaker talent, as in some of the other international players who kind of have their stats inflated because they play against lesser talent than the NBA or even college basketball. So he has, I just think that 10 and 7. If you're 7-5, you should be dominating a little more than that in a not super competitive conference like the WAC.
I agree with Jordan on that point, but also what I want to point out is remember Yao Ming? This guy was supposed to be big shot, but he kept on getting injuries.
But I thought Yao Ming.
Let me finish.
All right.
Before you argue, he had 2 to 3 solid years for the Rockets. That was literally about it. Got injured on pretty much every season he played in the NBA, and was pretty much rarely never heard of again. But I gotta say, I don't think Simbular will have that road, but potentially I think that. I mean, I can see him getting injuries just because of how tall he is, and maybe his knees start to go out.
It's inevitable.
It can happen in this league.
Okay, but then I could say, well, Dirk didn't get injured. So, I mean, we can always say that. But the thing is, first of all, Yao Ming, every time he was on the floor, the Rockets were, in my opinion, a championship contender. Every time that guy stepped on the floor. He is one of the most, to me, he's one of the greatest big men, greatest ambassadors, and I think Yao deserves a lot more credit than he usually gets from time to time. But, I mean, Simbular, and I know people are thinking, don't try to be all Darko Milicic and then hype him up and then he does poor. I'm just saying, he could have an impact, and I think he will. Will he be a superstar? No. Will he have an impact? Yes. So, Simbular, I'm rooting for you. Okay?
I think first of all, I think it's way too early to be telling whether he's going to have a huge impact, and I think he'll be a D-League player. I really do. I think he'll get thrown around to different teams and just find a stay in the D-League.
All right.
I agree with Jordan on that. I think he just needs time to develop in this league, but obviously, I don't think he's going to be NBA ready just yet. I mean, obviously, you remember the Kings, the D-League team for the Kings did win the Summer League in Las Vegas, but, you know...
Robert, they bounced off your Warriors.
The Warriors
team
had a pretty good streak going, too. I remember, I don't know what happened to the Warriors, to be honest with you. They just struggled, and my friend who's actually the D-League Warriors broadcaster was at Las Vegas tournament. He just said they're not playing as well, and they couldn't even beat Milwaukee's D-League team, so a little concern there. But, you know, let's just see how this guy does. Let's not make assumptions like he's going to be Yao Ming, he's going to be a potential buzz. This guy still has something to prove in this league that we haven't seen yet.
All right, I'm fine with that. Let's move on to Team USA. They beat Brazil in Chicago, and they really did, in my opinion, a lot of people said, great victory. But they won. They won the game. You got to give them credit for that. But there were a lot of things that alarmed me. Jordan, what alarmed you from the Team USA win versus Brazil?
A couple of things. I remember watching it. I was actually watching preseason, and then I remember the game was on. I had to flip to it, and it was close. It was really close. I didn't think it'd be that close. I thought they'd win by 20 or more, and they ended up winning by 17. But it was a sloppy game. They weren't playing as crisp as they should have been. They had more talent than Brazil by far, and I just don't think they played up to par. Cameron, I know you didn't like the rotation that Coach K was utilizing, and not having your boy DeMar DeRozan play, or neither him nor Gordon Hayward played at all. Also, Drummond didn't get in, and DeMarcus was injured. So, do you have a mini rant about Coach K right now, Cameron?
Look, I don't want to ever call the guy, Coach K, selfish, but some of his acts, I don't want to say they were selfish, but it almost seemed desperate. I wanted a risk-taker, a risk-taking approach from Coach K, and I saw none of that. So methodical. I mean, we heard Fran Fraschilla and Mark Jones on ESPN talking about how Coach K's winning streak and how he's won all these exhibition games. Coach K, I thought the bigger goal is winning in Spain. Okay, you can't go out there and just play your starters and a few rotational guys, and then before the cut, okay, this is a big moment, okay. You don't put DeMar DeRozan in for 1 second. That's a travesty. So you're basically saying that James Harden is that much better than DeMar DeRozan. So James Harden is like 3 levels ahead of DeMar DeRozan, and DeMar DeRozan is a second to third tier player. That's completely and utterly disrespectful on the part of Coach K. I mean, you want to put the guy in for 15 seconds? That'd be kind of nice. Okay, and I know DeRozan is a nice guy. He was rooting for his teammates. But I would love to see the roles reversed. I would love to see James Harden on the bench and see DeMar DeRozan playing the entire time. Look at Harden's reaction compared to DeRozan. 2 totally different mindsets. Put DeRozan in and stop with the garbage.
Yeah, Robert, I just want to read you some of the minutes some of these guys had. Cameron Harden had 29 minutes. Derrick Rose 24. Steph Curry 22. Anthony Davis 26. Fareed 23. Thompson 25. Rudy Gay with 12. Irving with 14. Plumlee with 15. And then Lillard 2. Kyle Korver 3. And Chandler Parsons 5. Robert, the minute distribution was not there at all. What would you, okay, we know what Cameron would have done. What do you think about Coach K's rotation?
I gotta say, I'm a little shocked, obviously. I mean, I watched a little bit of the game, not a lot. I'm surprised Klay Thompson gets a lot of minutes. That's a question mark in my mind. I think DeMar DeRozan, I agree with Cameron. I believe he deserves more minutes. I still give James Harden the minutes. This guy is an offensive player. He did get 18 points last game against Brazil, so let's give him that credit there.
Yeah.
Stephen Curry didn't do that bad. I mean, he put on a shooting display. That was about it. To be honest, I feel like the guards, there isn't a lot of guys that can really play defense. It's kind of hard to say, but also, guys, let's remember. The minutes display, yes, it's very uneven, but at the same time, we don't have all-star guys. We don't have a Kevin Durant. We don't have Paul George, Kevin Love, Blake Griffin, Russell Westbrook, LeBron James, Chris Paul, Carmelo Anthony, and Dwight Howard.
But
I just named off pretty much all-star caliber players that aren't in it for us. Let's remember that. But D Rose, I loved watching D Rose.
Yes.
I mean, this guy is obviously going to be comeback player of the year as long as he stays healthy.
Yeah, but the guys they do have. Steph Curry, All-Star, Rose, former MVP, Harden, scoring machine, Anthony Davis, the next big thing. We'll talk about that a little later. Rudy Gay, a proven scorer. Irving, great young talent. Plumlee, all these guys. Lillard's a great player too. Korver, 3-point specialist. Chandler Parsons, up-and-coming player. These guys can fill the bucket. They can get it done. But the display they put on yesterday makes me a little worried, just a little bit. What if they face a team like Spain in that gold medal game, or a young team like Serbia with Dario Saric and Bogdan Bogdanovic? I'm a little worried, Cameron.
And I just want to say this too. Like, I first of all, and a lot of people are going to disagree with me, and I'll stand alone on this one. I think DeMar DeRozan's going to be a star in this league. I really do. I think to me, he's superstar written all over him. Because I think his skill set, his all-around abilities really make him a superstar. And his work ethic is undeniably top-notch. He's proven to be a great teammate. And I'm looking at this article it's by Holly McKenzie, Growth of DeMar DeRozan Recognized by His Peers. It seems like sitting DeRozan locks his ability to become a star. And Coach K needs to unlock his star ability. And
Yeah.
I don't see that happening with Team USA.
And another thing, and I'm looking at this right now, DeRozan's getting paid a little over $9 million. So for his production, he's actually getting a little underpaid. And Team USA really humbles people and makes them better players. Look at Kevin Love after the Olympics in 2012. 2012-2013 wasn't the best year with injuries, but it comes out 2013-2014, has a great season. So Team USA really makes people better. And you see all these guys, guys who haven't, who've made the playoffs and are veterans in the league. Derrick Rose, Curry's even getting up there a little in age at 26. You see these guys, and it makes you want to get better playing with these such great guys. And yeah, I think if DeRozan's sitting on the bench, it's not going to make him better. It's not going to turn into a superstar that we think he can be, and maybe challenge Harden for that best shooting guard in the league role.
No, to me he already is, but that's just me.
So you take DeRozan. Okay, Cameron and Robert, I want to ask you this. Both of you, if you had to choose, you were starting a team, DeRozan or Harden.
Robert, you go first.
Oh, he's going to hate what I pick. The only reason why I picked James Harden because he is more of an offensive player. I get on DeMar DeRozan, you can get... I mean, you don't get a lot of high scoring, but you do get good defense on the other side as well. I know James Harden, we've seen his highlights on defense. You can obviously say that it's probably one of the worst videos we ever watched playing defense. But I like how he scores. I mean, this guy can get the job done. Obviously, with 18 points, he could probably put up 22 next game. But I like DeMar DeRozan, but I still believe James Harden's the better player.
I'm just going to respectfully disagree. I think James Harden's the second best. I just don't think he's the best because DeRozan just offers more. I know he's inefficient with the mid-range jump shot, but no guy can get to the free throw line the same way DeRozan can.
Harden can, though.
He can't get to the free throw line with the same efficiency as DeMar DeRozan.
Oh, Cameron.
No, that's really debatable. That's debatable. Anybody can... And
it's not.
Harden got to the line 11 times last night. Or shot 11 free throws.
Wait. Did DeRozan play in the game?
That's true.
You see, so it's like we're holding this guy back. We're holding this guy back from showcasing his abilities. And it's unfortunate because, sometimes they say, the good guys don't win, or they say you got to boast in order to have success and all that. And I feel like at times DeRozan is a victim of that. He doesn't boast, he's not in the commercials. James Harden is in a commercial every 2 seconds. James Harden uses his beard as a marketing tool, and DeRozan simply doesn't. DeRozan eats, sleeps, dreams, breathes basketball. And that's all DeRozan wants. And if I am starting a franchise, I want character more. And DeMar DeRozan has the character of a champion. And I want that as my shooting guard.
So, but you don't want a guy like Harden, and this is no knock on DeRozan, he's a great player, but you don't want a guy like Harden who can shoot the three ball in transition.
No.
Spot up shooter. Gets to the line.
He's not a championship player. If I want to win a championship and I'm investing everything, he doesn't make the little plays. He doesn't make the big plays to make his teammates better. DeRozan does. He makes the little plays that separate you and get you to the top. And that's what I want in my franchise player. Will James Harden come close? Yes. Has he improved? Yes. But DeRozan has improved mightily. And he needs to be recognized and celebrated for his improvements.
Robert?
I guess I could say on this topic is if it was a franchise, if it was a franchise player, I guess I would want DeMar DeRozan, but if we're in the middle of a championship here, I gotta say James Harden, obviously, because James Harden is that type of shooter. Obviously, he can't play D, which, to be honest, me being a Warriors fan, I found, I see the balance between the offense and defensive side. obviously David Lee can't defend. Curry isn't a great defender. When you have Thompson, when you have Andre Iguodala and Andrew Bogut, those three are your guys that can really defend. I don't know, if I had a good balance, I would take James Harden. If I didn't, I would take DeMar DeRozan.
Yeah, they're in different systems. You have Howard, who's always roaming the paint to kind of, if Harden messes up, Dwight's there, and then in Toronto, Valanciunas isn't that type of player. Okay, we're going to stay with Team USA.
All right.
To a guy who did play and shine, Anthony Davis, 9 of 15, 26 minutes, 20 points, 8 rebounds, and 5 blocks. Cameron, with this great performance, can Anthony Davis, or is he already the next big thing in the NBA?
Yeah, I have to say so. I think he'll be an MVP in this league. Maybe 2 or 3 times, I don't know. He's still very young. We have to also recognize that. He has a really talented team and a really solid head coach, too, in the Pelicans. Unfortunately, they just faced the injury bug, and they couldn't get over that. But I think they'll make the playoffs. I think Davis, he has all the tools. I know people say, well, he's not strong enough, but he's quick. He's got the right mind. He's got the right IQ. His offensive game is getting better. His defense is incredible. Leadership off the charts, attitude, everything. He's a top-notch player.
Yeah, he really is. Robert, Kevin Durant texted Anthony Davis after he won the MVP and said, "You're next." Do you think that's accurate? Do you think Anthony Davis can win an MVP in his career?
Yeah, he could win one, definitely. I see this guy, but obviously not now, especially with you have LeBron James still roaming this league, and you still have Kevin Durant.
And maybe even Steph Curry.
And Steph, okay, well, let's just remember Stephen Curry is an under-the-radar type of player, but now he's gotten more publicity. But he still is an under-the-radar player to me because he doesn't get enough publicity at all. For this guy, you make the USA team, you got your All-Star appearance. I think what Stephen Curry has to do is win an NBA Final for him to actually get known. That's all I gotta say for that. But I gotta say, Anthony Davis, I think this is a guy that will win a championship. I think it's just gonna take some time. But once the Pelicans get over an injury bug, like Cameron said, I think this team will finally get noticed for who they are. I mean, obviously, me and Jordan met Austin Rivers and said they have a lot of talent this year. Hopefully, that is true, and that is coming from real sources at 2 a.m. at night. 2 a.m. In Westwood, California. But, I like where this team's heading. I do like a Drew Holiday in the Pelicans, but I think Drew Holiday really helps out Anthony Davis. I think that's a good duo in New Orleans.
Yeah, they have a lot of talent in their starting 5. Cameron, you said they'll make the playoffs in a crowded West. We've talked about who's going to make the playoffs all the time on the show. You stand by that? The Pelicans can squeeze into the playoffs?
Well, to me, it's only if they're like 100% healthy. Like for most of the season, I would say. I don't think they make it if they have any big injuries. I think the one team that will make the playoffs barely, even if they have big injuries, it's Dallas. Because they have so much talent. They have so many veteran players that they can get through it. But if the Pelicans are 100% healthy, they can outduel Dallas.
Yeah, I really think they can. Drew Holiday coming back from that stress fracture. Eric Gordon still there. Tyreek Evans. Ashiq, if he starts at center. Brian Anderson, they got the sharpshooter from my hometown area, from Oak Ridge High School, which is up the road in Folsom. Actually, in El Dorado Hills. But yeah, they're a very talented team. Their depth is there with, like we said earlier, Austin Rivers and Ryan Anderson. So they can make a playoff run, maybe even surprise a team. That's where Anthony Davis, I think, can get more known. I think a lot of guys get known in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Steph Curry last 2012-2013 playoffs when he was torching the Nuggets and a little bit of the Spurs, and then this year with Damian Lillard.
Guys, I don't know why we're talking about playoffs for the Pelicans here. We're in the Western Conference. Do you know how hard it is to make the playoffs? The Phoenix Suns were 48-34.
I agree.
Do you know how close they were to making it?
They deserved it.
Half a game?
There's a lot of teams that really do deserve it. I mean, well, in the West, you gotta say the Phoenix Suns really deserve it. There is 1 through 9 the Phoenix Suns should have made it. The Pelicans, I don't see them going there just yet. They can't make that next step. I think it's gonna maybe take one more year to do it.
Okay.
Just because, I like what Dallas is doing. Dallas is obviously, I think, gonna be a 5-6 seeding type of team in this Western Conference. I think Golden State's going to maybe go down a little bit, 7-8, because they didn't really do much in the free agency period. And that concerned me as a fan because all you got was a Sean Livingston, a Brandon Rush. A little bit of concern. Also, I think the Memphis Grizzlies could go down.
Yes.
Yeah, I think that too.
Yeah.
So a lot of people are saying that either Phoenix, if they have a season like they did last year, maybe just get maybe 1 or 2 more wins in there, that team could potentially go up and take the Memphis Grizzlies spot. Or, as Cameron said, the Pelicans, if they're healthy, could be fighting against the Suns. I think that's what's going to happen at the end of the day. The Lakers are still going to be one of the worst teams in the Western Conference.
Thanks, Robert.
No problem. I had to shout out that. Also, Utah Jazz, obviously, not going to really do much either, but they do have more wins than the Milwaukee Bucks, so congratulations.
But, yeah, I agree with you, Robert. I think Memphis doesn't make it. I think in their place, Dallas will go 7, and then for the 8th, I mean, it's going to be a fight between Phoenix and the Pelicans. And I think at the end of the day, it'll just come down to health. Really, because both teams are talented. They've proven they can beat anybody on any given night when they're healthy. And that's all it's going to come down to between the Suns and the Pelicans.
Yeah, another team. I think Memphis. Memphis is a team I think can make it if everything goes right for them.
Well,
if Marcus Gasol is 100%, Zebo I know is getting older, but if he can play another great season, Conley I think is still developing a little bit, and they got Vince Carter, but Denver, if they're all healthy, Nate Robinson's coming back. They got Aaron Aflalo back, which I think was big. He averaged 18 a game this season. Danilo Gallinari's coming back. 2 seasons ago, this team was in the playoffs against Robert's Warriors. I think they're a team who can definitely make a push for it. They play that fast-paced ball. They still have Brian Shaw as a coach. JaVale McGee's coming back as a defensive anchor. I wouldn't count out the Nuggets to make a push for the 8th or 7th seed.
I just don't think they have really, solid depth, in my opinion.
Oh.
No. I'll tell you in what way. I think, I don't think J.J. Hickson is... I think JaVale, McGee and Mozgov, those are great players. Gallinari. Yes, Wilson Chandler, but I think Randy Foye and J.J. Hickson and Daryl Arthur, I don't think they have enough in the tank like a Phoenix or a New Orleans Pelican team. I don't know. I mean, can they do it if they're 100% healthy? Of course. But I don't know because... J.J. Hickson, Randy Foye, I mean, they've had some injuries. I mean, it's not like Ty Lawson has had injuries, so it's not like Denver. This is not going to be an easy path for them.
Yeah, I'm not saying it is.
Oh yeah, okay.
You like Nate Robinson. He's a guy coming off the bench.
Yeah.
Foy, Wilson Chandler maybe too. Darrell Arthur can help. Mozgov too. They have the talent. I think Aflalo is going to have a great year again. His shots may be a little limited because he's coming into a system with guys who can score, like Gallinari, Lawson, and Nate Robinson off the bench. But Gallinari had a great year before he went down. McGee, you never know. He'll be on. He's counted to be on Shaqtin' a Fool every week.
But he's a great player. He's a good, solid player.
He has a lot of talent. It's just some of the he's infamously known for his bonehead plays.
Well, Shaq needs to calm it down a little.
What? What do you mean?
Cameron, what are you saying?
Shaq, honestly, I like him a lot, but like, there comes a point where enough is enough. I mean, the guy's still a great player. I mean, a solid player. Okay, and now we're all most fans are being confused, like, this guy's not good because he's on Shaq and a Fool, and that should be the opposite.
Shaq and a Fool is kind of a segment that kind of calls out players in a bad way, and if you're a guy who only watches, NBA on TNT, then it kind of does make the player look like he's really bad.
Yeah.
Shaq and even Dennis Scott when it's on NBA
Oh,
TV.
no.
You cannot put those two in a room together. Come on. I thought NBA would know that. You cannot put those two fools in a room together.
It's like worse than like watching. It was Gary Payton and Chris Webber, and I would like Chris Webber would say something not funny at all, and Gary Payton would be laughing through the entire segment and completely like careless and not knowing what happened in any of the games. I mean, it's as bad as that.
I'm not a big TNT guy because I don't watch TNT. I just watch the Golden State Warriors.
So Warriors are always on TNT.
Not always. I mean, when you talk about Bob Fitzgerald, how amazing of a broadcaster he is, no bias or anything. Shout out to a guy that actually went to my high school, and look what he's done now. And by the way, Jordan, guess who came to our school? Tom Brady.
Really?
You can't top that.
Wait, Tom Brady went to your school in high school?
Yeah, he did.
Oh, wow. That's
Yeah.
And no one can top Lynn Swan, who's a Hall of Famer. So, but going back to basketball here, if we're talking about this Western Conference, I gotta ask you guys this question. LA Clippers, a team that always has a great regular season, but doesn't seem like they really can't play in the playoffs. Is this team for real next year or no?
Oh, that was the talk of sports broadcasting camp.
Yeah.
Clippers. Cameron, you can go.
I'm like a Clippers enthusiast just because they're so close by, and I really, deep down, I want them to do well. I like Doc Rivers a lot. He's one of my favorite coaches of all time. And I don't know if... I think Doc Rivers communicates the right message, but I don't know if the players completely buy in all the time. Because they need, in my opinion, they need to go through some losing in the playoffs even more to finally buy into Doc Rivers. Because at times they become a solo show. I mean, the ball starts to stick. They become stagnant in key situations. They go back to their old habits. They make costly turnovers. And like the costly Chris Paul foul on Westbrook shooting the three. They make so many of these little mistakes. And so many people say, oh, it's not that big of a deal. It does end up being a big deal. These small details, these little details become big things in late game situations. And the Clippers haven't mastered the small details. Do I think they can go to the Western Conference Finals this year? No. I think they're going to go through a lot of losing in the playoffs before they get a championship.
This is a quick ALS alert. Robert Dieters, you were just challenged by Ian Martin to do the ALS Ice Bucket Challenge.
Oh my gosh.
Just saw it on Instagram, you and Miles. Yeah, Robert, you have 24 hours.
I can't wait to do the ALS challenge. I was waiting to get challenged, and it finally happened. Can't believe I got challenged by Ian Martin. I hope, I haven't watched the video yet, so I'll obviously get to that. Me and Miles will be doing the Ice Bucket Challenge, and I wonder who's coming up next. That's going to be the next surprise. I mean, obviously, someone who's talking right now, or is on the show, who's the host.
Oh, no.
Of In the Paint. He's probably going to get challenged within the next 24 hours. So have fun with that.
I'll have something very special that it's going to shock the world. I really will. I'm not kidding.
Shock the world.
Yes.
Well, getting challenged is it's a nomination and honor because for ALS, and we support the ALS here on In the Paint with Jordan Hunter, Cameron, and myself, Robert Dieters.
All right. So where were we?
We were talking about the Clippers.
Yeah. Okay. So I believe in the Clip. I wish the best for the Clippers, but I think they need some more time before they get success.
Yeah, they have talent. They've had talent the last 3 seasons, and it just hasn't translated into anything past the second round. They did run into a tough OKC team, a team that had just come off of 7 games with a really tough and gritty Memphis team. So they had a tough challenge. I think they could have beaten OKC with Blake and Chris Paul, but yeah, some costly errors down the stretch. They need progression from Spencer Hawes. I'm not Spencer Hawes. DeAndre Jordan and then Spencer Hawes to back him up because they have the depth with him and Jamal Crawford and Jared Dudley. Do I think they can make it to the Western Conference Finals? Yes, but like we said with Portland, it kind of has to be against the right team. Like we always say, Portland, they didn't face San Antonio, they would have been to the Western Conference Finals, and maybe even, probably just the Western Conference Finals. But yeah, Clippers have to face a team that doesn't have a lot of three-point shooting, and a team that gets to the basketball like OKC does with Durant and Westbrook.
You know, the OKC Thunder, a team that I like a lot, but I still believe Russell Westbrook and Kevin Durant, 2 players I don't think can win an NBA championship team.
Oh, come on.
No, I mean it's a good point. It's a good point.
That's what everyone says that, so if they've had all...
I say that because I feel like they don't play very well together. I mean, they are a dynamic duo, but I think Kevin Durant just needs more... I'm trying to say needs a better partner, but I heard he might be on the Washington Wizards in 2 years. Interesting. Well, wait, but let me finish.
All right.
Washington Wizards have gave contract extensions to John Wall, Bradley Beal, Gortat, and Nene might stay around. We don't know yet, but if he doesn't,
Broken down Nene.
Oh, geez, Jordan.
That's all I say. Cameron knows. Broken down Nene.
He's not that bad.
No, he's a good player. It's just injuries.
Well, yeah, he gets injured a lot, but when he plays hard. What I'm trying to say is, though, I think that when you have a John Wall, Bradley Beal, and Kevin Durant, like, that would actually be a pretty solid squad right there. And Gortat is your center. I still think Gortat, though, I don't think he's going to be good in the next 2 years just because he's getting older. He's going to be, 33, 34?
Yeah.
In that time, and that's the time I think where he's going to decline. But I still think that Washington could be a valuable option. I don't see OKC winning a championship unless they really decide to make a big move. I do like Serge Ibaka as well for that team, but OKC, I just don't see him going just yet.
I don't get why people think. I think Westbrook and Durant are. I think they're a great 1-2 punch. They made it to the finals. 2012, right? 2012. And Durant wasn't as polished as he is now. Westbrook is a little more out of control. Harden was a no-show in the finals against the Heat. I think they're a great 1-2 punch. Durant's all-around play and Westbrook's, grittiness and ability to get to the basket and the free throw line so well, I think they complement each other perfectly. It's just a supporting cast and rotations. Scott Brooks hasn't always been so sharp on them. I don't think it's Westbrook and Durant at all, though. I think they're 2 superstars on a team that just lacks a supporting cast. Kind of like OKC. Kind of like the Clippers.
No, well, I think the Clippers are the most talented team in the league.
Well, yeah, but then why doesn't it translate into Western Conference Finals?
Because they don't buy into the message. They become a solo show. I see it every single night. They come so close to winning games, but talent can only take you so far. You can go to the Portland Jailblazers in 2000, the Sacramento Kings in 2002. to me, the Oklahoma City Thunder, and I don't want to put too much blame on Durant and Westbrook, but time and time again, they don't make the. To me, they haven't put their teammates in the best position to succeed all the time, both of them, and I think also it's partially Scott Brooks' fault because Scott Brooks really has an offense where you're gonna ride and die with Durant and Westbrook, and if both of them aren't hot, you have no chance. And that's a horrible offense to live by, especially in big key moments. And Oklahoma City, I hate saying this to Thunder fans, but they kind of deserve to lose in the Western Conference. Yes, they do.
Deserves to lose.
Yeah, well, they do. You know why they deserve to lose? Because when you play that poorly, don't blame it on the officials. It's your fault that you guys didn't execute. So stop blaming something else you can't control. And that's the problem with the Thunder.
Also, the Boston Celtics don't deserve to win this year because they didn't draft Aaron Gordon.
Oh, he's too raw. He's too raw for a Celtics team. Even for a Celtics team that's rebuilding. Well, yeah. I think.
No, but this is just real quick. I just want to say this. I don't want to be too mean, but I do talk to a lot of Thunder fans, so it does aggravate me. Where every single Western Conference Finals loss, always there's a mention of how the referees rigged the game. No, they didn't. You guys don't execute well in key moments. So stop being mean to referees and focus about offensive execution, something that you guys lack.
Oh, Cameron. Shots were fired at all Oklahoma City Thunder fans.
I'm an Oklahoma City Thunder hater, everyone, because I'm tired of the nonsense that Thunder fans keep telling me every single day.
Wow. I didn't expect that on this show, but when you're a guest, you would expect the unexpected. Very interesting.
Oh my god.
You know what I'm going to say about the Celtics?
Alright, go ahead.
Without Aaron Gordon, they're not a team.
Oh, come on.
Oh,
No. I can understand why somebody would say, I don't like the Celtics or I don't like their moves, and I completely agree.
I do like them, though. I mean, I like Avery Bradley and Rajon Rondo and Jared Solinger.
Okay.
Those are the only three guys I like.
If I was Boston, I don't think I would have drafted Marcus Smart, but I also don't think I would have drafted Aaron Gordon. I think a guy like Julius Randle would have been really good for them.
I actually think that Randall fits better for the Lakers.
Oh yeah, even though I just don't get why we got all those big men who are all capable of playing. That was another bad move by Mitch Kupchak.
Oh no, don't be too mean to Mitch.
I don't like him that much actually, but I don't like the GM. It's just puzzling when you draft a big man like Julius Randle who has so much talent and could be potential Rookie of the Year, and you know if with enough work he could start, and then you get Boozer off amnesty, which is also another nice move. Then you sign Ed Davis, then you re-sign Ryan Kelly, and then you re-sign Jordan Hill. It's just all these moves, and you get guys who are definitely capable of playing in Byron Scott's system coming to the end of the bench, like Ryan Kelly, who's probably not going to get many minutes. And Ed Davis may fall out of rotation even. And it was just a puzzling move. I didn't see why he did that. But our backcourt looks great.
Yeah.
What's a for? Come on, Lynn and Kobe.
No. I like Lynn. I like Kobe. I just don't think they're.
I think Lynn and Kobe are the next Rush Hour.
Oh wow! You could have said that about Lynn and anyone. Lynn and Harden.
Oh
Lynn and
my
Howard,
god.
Lynn and Mello.
That was a great reference right there.
Thank you so much. I'd like making some good points on this show, so I thought that was a good point.
Robert, bringing the comedic value to the show.
I do like Rush Hour, though, no lie. That's how I really do.
I just. Yeah, I don't even know what to say. That was such a good reference. I can't follow up on that one. That's a tough act to follow. I mean, Lynn and Kobe. First of all, why do we always get to the Lakers somehow? It's either me, it's you, Jordan. We always get to the Lakers and Celtics at the end of the show.
I think this is your guys' two favorite teams.
I know, but I try not to talk about the Celtics because I'm kind of embarrassed that we haven't made the playoffs. I mean, that we didn't make it last year.
It's just been a couple seasons.
Well, I want us to, I think, I feel so bad for the Celtics that it's just painful to hear no playoffs whenever you talk about the Celtics. It's just painful.
I actually have a question for you guys. I think you guys are actually have a really good debate. Who's the better team, the Boston Celtics or the Lakers? Jordan, go first. Make your point. Right? Yeah, just do it. I actually want to hear what you guys actually have to say. These are two teams that aren't going to probably make the playoffs. I just want to hear who's the better team.
Right now the Lakers are the better team. Come on, like we have Kobe coming back, a healthy Kobe. Jeremy Lin's gonna be nice. Boozer should help us. Nick Young. We have some returning players. Who do the Celtics have? Rondo, who's probably gonna get traded. Marcus Smart. You don't know about him yet. Jeff Green, Brandon Bass, Gerald Sellinger, Kelly Olynyk. It's just not up to par with the Lakers. We're not the most talented team, I know that. But I think we'll finish with a better record than the Celtics. But the Celtics, I think, are tanking still.
No, they're not tanking. No.
Oh, Cameron.
Why would they be tanking? Okay, first of all, are the Lakers more talented? Yes. Yeah, I'll be completely honest. Name-wise, yeah, they're more talented. But I don't think the Lakers have a lot of wild cards. They really do. You look at Boozer right now. Is he gonna max out for you? Is he gonna be 100% the same type of Boozer in Chicago or maybe even Utah? No way. Is Jeremy Lin in his prime? Yeah, that's the biggest bright spot for the Lakers. Kobe Bryant, I mean, the car is barely moving for Kobe Bryant. I mean, it's barely trying to get to the finish line for Kobe Bryant. And he's going to know that the future, it's not very bright for Kobe Bryant because he needs to retire in a few years. And then let's look at some other guys. Julius Randle, top notch. I think he's a really solid player. Jordan Hill, yes. But you can't compare to the guard play of the Boston Celtics. Top to bottom. You have guys like Rondo. Marcus Smart is so underrated. Avery Bradley can guard anybody, arguably. Rondo, great. Marcus Thornton is a wild card, but we don't know. You got Jeff Green, who's pretty solid. Vitor Favarani is the next 3-point specialist. And let's see who here. Keith Bogans is a very tough defender. But other than that, I have nothing else to say.
Kobe, you're really saying Kobe, the car is barely moving? He's about to turn 36. That's not...
No, he has so much mileage, though.
I know, but on this Laker team, he's still gonna get the most shots.
Why, though?
Why? Because he's the best player on the team at 36 still. Okay, let me ask you this. He may be the most talented player on the team, and I agree with you. But is he going to be the most consistent and most healthy? You think he can stay healthy for 82 games? I think he can if he doesn't play. He's not going to play over 35 minutes unless he really has to.
You really... I feel like Byron Scott's the type of guy that would do that. That would let him play 30 to 35.
No, Byron is... I don't think Byron is. I think... That was Mike D'Antoni. You're getting your coaches mixed up, Cameron. That was D'Antoni. Byron knows Kobe. Byron played with Kobe. And he knows how much Kobe can take. He knows two horrible injuries in a row can really be bad for a guy. And Kobe's not going to probably average more than 20, maybe 21 a game, maybe less. But the assists are going to be up. I think the rebounds are going to be up. I think we're going to see that stretch of in 2012, 2013, when Kobe was getting triple-doubles all over the place and rebounding and assisting, yet still scoring. I think we'll see a little of that. Like a small sample size of that every night for Kobe.
I don't.
Guys to dish to: Lynn, Wes Johnson, Xavier, Nick Young.
No, I don't think it's that. I mean, I know you're a big Kobe fan, and I respect that. I think Kobe's a great player. No doubt about it. I think he's one of the greatest players of all time. I just don't think, like, at this age, you can't take the most shots, the type of injuries, the mileage, and I don't know if. To me, it just seems so hard to believe, because even Michael Jordan at this stage in his career, or anybody else, wouldn't perform at the level that you're talking about. It's unrealistic, and Kobe can, pump his chest and talk all he wants, but you have to be consistent if you're the way that you mentioned. And I don't know if Kobe's going to be that consistent.
Well, I think the way he's not going to be playing the same way he was a few years ago. The way Dwayne Wade played this season is kind of the way I envision Kobe to be playing. A lot of back to the basket, post up. He's not gonna, go crazy all the time. He's not gonna use so much athleticism and more finesse and skill to get his points.
But
like he did when he came back from the Achilles.
Okay.
For 6 games, he didn't have, it wasn't a lot of games, it wasn't a lot of scoring, but the scoring he did have, jump shots, back to the basket, getting to the line. His three-pointer is going to have to be there because he'll have to be a better spot-up shooter than he was, because he's never been a very good spot-up shooter. But he's not going to be fast breaking all the time, and he's not going to be that fast break type guard. You see guys like James Harden. DeMar DeRozan is also another guy who Kobe can play like style-wise, mid-range. But I'm not asking for 45 minutes, 40 minutes a night from him.
But,
I know that's unrealistic, but 30 minutes, yes.
Okay, wait a second. First of all, the 2012 year, he took like 500 more shots than everybody else in the league. I mean, he was all over the place when it came to shot taking for Kobe, and I don't know if he's really. You say he needs to be a spot-up shooter for the Lakers and all that, and I agree. But, and Kobe's like, he's a total body shooter. He's not an upper body shooter. So, and I think his body's like done, in my opinion. I don't think he can, okay, how many points, give me his stat line. What is he going to give?
I'm thinking 17, 6, and 4.
Really? I think like 13, 14, and then how many assists?
I said about 6.
I would say 5, and actually no, I'll go with 6 assists, and then rebounds. I think he'll 5 rebounds.
You think he can only average 13 a night? Cameron, he could get 13 in the first half, first quarter.
Look, I know this may seem ridiculous, but I think this is kind of starting to become the end for Kobe Bryant. And it's a harsh reality, but it's the truth. And I know Kobe won't admit it, and he'll force the issue at times. And I think it's just going to start to become a nightmare, the same way it happened to Larry Bird at the end of his career. And same with Magic Johnson. I hope he just realizes and his competitive nature doesn't get in the way. Because he needs to save his body for life later on.
I think he knows that. I think he knows he can't play those huge minutes that he even played 2 years ago, which was still kind of crazy because he was like 34 at the time. And he knows he's not going to go all out. And he knows if he has to come out, he's going to come out. If he's feeling it, you got to keep him in. He's got the hot hand. But I just don't think I think you're thinking like he's really old and he's ineffective, kind of like Steve Nash is right now.
No. He'll be better than that. But to me, with Dwayne Wade, though, I thought like Dwayne Wade, like he would get 5 games off and then play a game. Like
That's crazy. Like
Dwayne Wade played. You know, on NBA 2K14, you can play key games.
yeah.
Yeah, that was Dwayne Wade. Dwayne Wade clicked the key games button and then played against like the Warriors and teams like Indiana. So he missed all the games in Milwaukee. But yeah, I think Kobe, if he's going to average the numbers that you say, I think he needs to take that approach.
Well, oh no, I don't think he takes that Dwayne Wade, Kevin Garnett approach. But I just want to say right now, I really feel sorry for Dwayne Wade. How this type of play is coming in. He's only 30, and it's early in his life that he's already starting to have to take games off. I know he's had a lot of mileage, but that's still very sad. But Kobe, I think he can play every night. I don't think he'd rest. I don't think.
But is that smart? You want to make the playoffs, don't you?
Yeah, I still. But he's not going to be getting a lot of mileage during the season. So it's not like he's going to need to have a lot of rest if he's not playing a lot during the season. I don't, unless it, and it's different because it was the Heat and they were dominating teams. With the Lakers, why take a game off against a team that you might already lose to?
Yeah, but then won't Kobe overextend?
Well, I'm still here, so I've heard about the Lakers and the Boston Celtics for the last like 10 to 15 minutes. Now I get to rise about the Golden State Warriors that are actually making the playoffs this year when you have Stephen Curry, Klay Thompson, Andre Iguodala, David Lee, and Andrew Bogut. Then you got Harrison Barnes, you got Brandon Rush, you got Sean Livingston, you have Big Draymond Green, who comes in clutch in the playoffs, and you have Festus Ezeli. So, guys, I gotta say, your teams are heading in kind of bad directions. Don't lie. I gotta say, the Warriors, though, this is a team that makes the playoffs, but really can't finish. It's kind of like, I gotta kind of say, it's kind of like the Clippers. We have talent, but they don't do anything with it. I don't like David Lee.
Why?
Oh, jeez. You're going to ask me this question? You know why I'm going to say why?
Because he doesn't play defense?
He doesn't play defense. Then how about Draymond Green at all? Draymond Green had to literally block Blake Griffin. Defend Blake Griffin and DeAndre Jordan throughout that whole series. You know how hard that is? It's like two giants going against Draymond Green, and Draymond Green actually is guarding one of them really well throughout the whole series.
But I agree.
It's just like, I'll put my hands up in the air, and the ball goes in. Okay, well, that was my defense. That was awful. One of the worst things I've ever seen. Bogut, if we had Bogut, I think the Warriors could have taken that series. Because that series, they go to Game 7.
Yeah, maybe.
Good series.
No, they would have. I thought the Clippers are starting to lose it, but if you had Bogut for sure. I agree. I agree there.
I think him and DeAndre Jordan would have had a fight, potentially. Also, you guys, Barnes needs to step up.
Oh, gosh.
He needs to seriously have a comeback season. I understand you won't start. I know that you went to a different role, but you've only been in the league for 2 years now. You really got to understand your roles. It's really disappointing, but hopefully he comes back. I like what we get out of Sean Livingston. Obviously, he isn't your offensive player, but this guy will pass the ball, give opportunities to other players, like a Brandon Rush who can hit those three-pointers, which I'm going to like, and he's former Warrior coming back. It's a great feeling. But my concern is the Warriors didn't do much. They didn't have any draft picks the last 2 years, and they haven't done really much off of free agency besides getting Sean Livingston and Brandon Rush. Last year they had Maurice Spates. They got Andre. Yeah, they got Andre. I think they got some other guys. I kind of forget, but Festus Ezeli's coming back. I think this guy's going to be okay. It's not going to be great when we also don't have a Jermaine O'Neal anymore. So the Warriors I think this team's going to go to the playoffs, become a 7th or 8th seed team. I don't see them going any farther than that. But besides that, the Warriors are in better situations than the Celtics. And
okay, since you want to diss us, a team, it's not going to be a good feeling. Is when you guys face the Cleveland Cavaliers and Kevin Love, who you could have easily traded for, torches you guys.
Oh.
I'm sorry, Robert, but he is going to torch you guys. Should have made the trade. I would have pulled the trigger on that a long time ago. Come on. You're getting Love, a generational player, 26, 12, and 4 or 5 assists, and you're getting Kevin Martin back, which is a nice return too, and you're giving up Klay Thompson.
Yeah.
There's going to be a lot of Klay Thompsons. There's not going to be a lot of Kevin Loves, and a guy you don't even like in David Lee. So,
Robert made some good points about the Warriors and who they have. I think Livingston is going to be a huge factor in the playoffs for them. Jordan Crawford, I think, could have an impact. And, Draymond Green's one of the most efficient players in the NBA, stats-wise. You can go check that out. But I think Steve Kerr, we have to remember, Steve Kerr is the head coach now. And I think the Warriors are going to have a slow start, similar to Jason Kidd in Brooklyn. And unfortunately, I hope the Warriors, because the Warriors have been known to be very impatient at times in management, and I hope they don't get too impatient in the slow start that the Warriors are going to have. And I'm looking at this coaching staff here on the Warriors website, and it's really good. You got Alvin Gentry. He's a really, really good, interim head coach. You got Luke Walton as your assistant. You got Jaron Collins for player development. So they have great coaching talent. I just hope that the Warriors, they're not impatient and they won't pull a bad trade, before the trade deadline.
But so, would you have done the Love trade, Cameron?
Yes, but I can understand why the Warriors didn't do it because of money reasons. It seems like Golden State always has problems with money. I don't know why that's been the case. They get great fan attendance. I don't know. Even on 2K14, they're like 2 stars when it comes to money or something whenever you want to be the GM of the franchise. It just seems like they struggle because they're in a smaller market, or I don't know what the case is. I would have done it, but would it have been a big, huge risk money-wise? Yes, and I know the ownership. I think it's Joe. Who's the owner? Joe
Lacob.
Joe Lacob, yeah, Joe Lacob. I think he is really concerned about money.
Mm-hmm. He's a frugal man. And do you think, with Love saying he won't sign a contract extension with any team that he was traded to, scare them a little bit? Because I think he would have stayed. I would think he would have loved Golden State had he got traded there.
Yeah, Robert, do you want to go ahead and
touch up on this situation? Yes, I do.
Okay.
Klay Thompson is a big key of the Golden State Warriors David Lee, obviously, I would have loved to trade this guy, no doubt about it. I think it was David Lee and Harrison Barnes. The Warriors would have said, go right ahead and take him. But obviously, Harrison Barnes declined in value the last season. So obviously, you don't want to take Harrison Barnes anymore. You want 2 of the starters. I think if they included Martin and we gave them like a first-round pick, but I feel like the Warriors are just giving up picks every year. If I was a Warriors fan, it's a tough decision. I would have loved Kevin Love, no doubt about it. Him and Curry would have been on fire, but you do lose kind of a defensive presence. And I don't know who they would replace as a shooting guard. I guess you can put Sean Livingston in the starting lineup.
No, you gotta keep Kevin Martin. He's a good shooter still.
Kevin Martin's really good.
But I heard Kevin Martin wasn't in this deal exactly.
Well, the deals that were being reported were, I think it was Love and Martin for Thompson and Lee, and I think Minnesota was trying to get Golden State to throw in a first-round pick or maybe even Harrison Barnes also.
I heard Harrison Barnes, I believe, in those reports, but it's a tough decision if you're Steve Kerr. But I think it would have been the same anyway. I think we would have been eliminated first or second round. I just don't see the Warriors going. Because I didn't really do much free agency. Just remember that. So that was a big concern. But remember, the Warriors do overpay their players. So David Lee, obviously that's a huge contract out the window. Klay Thompson doesn't have a max contract yet, and Harrison Barnes is still a rookie too. So to be honest, you're not losing a lot. I mean, you're not really. David Lee's the only big giant contract you have, and Kevin Love is probably a little bit more than that. Klay Thompson has a small contract. Harrison Barnes has a small contract. Kevin Love probably has a medium-sized type of deal. So I think that's what's interesting about the trade is I think the money-wise might have worked out. But I mean, the Warriors would have made it work, but I think getting rid of Klay Thompson is a little too much.
Yeah, and don't forget, you guys are using Steph Curry on a cheap $11 million a year deal. So
Yeah.
Joe Lakers his jaw's gonna drop when Steph Curry asks for that max deal. Because, we know Curry's worth way more than $11 million a year. Maybe even a max deal, but, just finished his first year of that deal, so he has 3 more before he may jetson to Charlotte, if that's the case. Robert, I know you wouldn't like to see Steph Curry leave beloved Oakland, but everyone's going home, so maybe Steph Curry will do it too.
I feel like he'll do it at the end of his career, but not now. I mean, he has a priority, and right now is to win an NBA final, and that's what all Warriors fans are waiting for. And it's tough watching them not. It's tough not seeing them win it all just yet, and it's really disappointing.
It's a process. They need to.
Yeah, but it must be nice seeing your team actually get in the playoffs, though.
Yeah.
It is, but at the same time, you're kind of wondering when are the Warriors actually going to make it a little bit farther.
Well, my Lakers haven't won since 2010, so I'm a little impatient too.
I'm kind of impatient, but I may just jump the Cleveland bandwagon if I.
Cameron, don't do it.
Should I jump the San Antonio bandwagon? I think I've jumped on that so many times. I love the San Antonio bandwagon.
You can't jump on San Antonio because I think this may be their last year. You got to jump on Cleveland or maybe even Chicago. So
I'll just jump on both and I'll root for both of them in the conference finals. Just root for a good conference finals.
All you In the Paint listeners, this is inside information. If you're trying to jump on a bandwagon, make it a team that's on the up and up like Cleveland or even Chicago. Or if you want to jump on the Clipper bandwagon, that's already set sail, so you might have to catch that one.
I jumped on the Pelican bandwagon. No, that one I'm going to be on for 10 years, but...
God bless you, Cameron.
Is there anything else we have to talk about, or...
I think we made our points tonight.
Yep.
Yeah, any shout-outs before we head on out?
Jordan, you can go first, man.
I don't have any shout-outs.
Wow.
No shout-outs for me.
Well, I guess Jordan doesn't have a shout-out for Kobe Bryant, but obviously everyone does. Alright, shout-out to Stephen Curry, being a man, and Klay Thompson for both making the USA roster this year. I mean, Klay Thompson usually just gets knocked out, but he made it this year. Congratulations. Shout out to the Broncos for shutting out the Niners 34.
Oh my gosh, how did we not talk about that?
Well, this is in the paint. This isn't, NFL football.
Brought it up anyway. Oh, poor Robert.
Well, I give a shout out to the Broncos because, they deserved it today.
Isn't that your guys' second preseason game getting blown out?
Yeah, we only don't. So we haven't scored a touchdown yet. The Niners have not scored a touchdown yet.
I don't know if they can get to the Super Bowl.
Cameron, I got faith in the Patriots this year. They better not disappoint me. They disappoint me, and then I don't know what to say. Let's see. Shout out to Austin Rivers. Obviously, he's doing work somewhere in Westwood. He's probably gone by now, but just shout out to meeting him at Westwood, California at 2 a.m. at night.
Oh my God. Shout out to DeMar DeRozan again. No, I'm kidding. No, I like him a lot. It's just I think people may think I'm a little over the top when I say he's the best. I do believe that, but maybe my delivery can be a little aggressive when it comes to DeRozan. Shout out to I'm just a little disappointed though in the ALS bucket challenges because like people do it and then they say, you know, I'm gonna do it, but it's like a cop out, so you don't donate. I mean, if you think about it, look, some of these celebrities who dump ice on their heads, are they really donating, or are they just doing it so they don't have to donate?
I think the celebrities are donating. I think some of the celebrities are donating. They should. Hopefully, they are. They're celebrities.
I mean, I don't know, but I'm gonna have a bucket challenge. That's gonna really surprise a lot of people. I hope I get on every like mainstream media network and we make national sports popular because I decide to do a really kind of daredevil move. Should I just tell everyone what I'm gonna do?
I want to hear it.
Okay, so basically I'm gonna put $100 in a bucket. Just coins, dollar bills, 5s, 10s, whatever. And I'm just going to dump it on my head and say, stop with the nonsense. Don't make this a cop-out. Actually donate. And then end it. And let me just say this. If I don't get on ABC, CBS, CNN, or any TV network, I will write a letter to every single network if they don't see that. So I'm going to make sure that happens. Only on national sports you heard that. But in the paint, Cameron, Robert, Jordan, everybody, the whole crew, national sports, we really appreciate all the listeners and great Sunday night. We will see you next time on In the Paint.